Hello, everybody, and welcome to Father's Note, where we promote fatherhood through building men. As always, we are glad that you took the time to stop by, and to spend this moment with us. We've been talking about men's health, and that's what we've been doing during the month of January. And I want to just share with you a scripture that we're basing all of our conversation on, our discussions on for this month, and that's Third John 2, and it says that, beloved, I pray that all may go well with you, and that you may be in good health as it goes well with your soul. So, no doubt, we want you to know that it is God's will for us to be in good health, uh, as well as we prosper in everything else, as well as just as much as we strive to, pertain or have earthly possessions, right? We want you to know that it's God's will that not only as you prosper in materialistic things, whatever, He wants you to prosper in your soul. He wants you to be in good health. So again, for this month, we're going to continue to discuss, the overall men's health and the challenges that most men face in their bodies when it comes to their health, whether or not it is you're dealing with a heart condition or maybe cancer, diabetes, or maybe mental health. Just to name, just to highlight a few, because we know that there are definitely other ailments out there and sicknesses that can attack the body. There's no question about that. But as I stated in our last live broadcast, that I myself have shared that, in my body, that I've had several challenges. Nevertheless, though, I can say that I am an overcomer. And if you are passing through some ailment with your body, you can be an overcomer as well. However, in order to do so, it would require a certain level of discipline on your part. So, as we will share with you tonight what those disciplines are, that will lead you to a road of recovering your health, we want you to listen very, very carefully, because I think this topic tonight is really, really. I think it affects a lot of people in a lot of ways. So again, in our last, uh, as I stated before, our last broadcast, we talked about symptoms of the heart, symptoms of a heart attack, and what you can do to avoid them. So we're going to play just a short clip from our last uh, broadcast. Okay, so take a listen. Once you had a physical, it's okay to have fun, but at the same time, though, are you taking care of yourself? We spend more time tending to our automobiles, our vehicles, but yet we don't put any time, any money into our body. A heart attack is the leading killer of both men as well as women in the United States. The key to survival is to recognize the signs and seek care immediately. Some signs and symptoms of a heart attack: shortness of breath, chest discomfort, stress, hypertension. That's a part of cause heart attack. Take the initiative prior to that. It's very critical to you living. Understand, brothers, your family need you. Your children need you. They need you to be around. Yep, that's so true. Um, and you do not want to be here because of something that you did not do, or you did not take the time to really to uh, see about your health. And this is so important. I cannot stress this so much. And I think the reason why I'm emphasizing so much on it is because just just seeing what I have experienced, to hear of different individuals who have transitioned, because of not taking care of their body. Now, are there some things that are unavoidable? Absolutely. Even if you may be a health nut, a health freak, but can some things happen to your body? Yes, but I'm not talking to you. I'm the ones that I'm talking to tonight and through this broadcast are the men who don't take the time to really tend to their body, to tend to their health, to be concerned about their health. So tonight, though, in this episode, we're going to be talking about saying no to cancer. So now I want to put this disclaimer right there, and I want to say this that I personally, I'm not professing to be a doctor of any kind, right? And neither am I a herbalist of any kind. Now, maybe I would like to be, but that's not my field. But who I am a husband. I'm a man. I'm a father. I'm a Papa G. Who cares about life? Who cares about his family? And cares about how I steward this earthly body that God has entrusted me with here on this earth. So it's important to me. It's no question about it. My health. I overcame. I am a person who overcame a TSA or a mild stroke, as they refer to it. I overcame high blood pressure, hypothyroid, as well as prostate cancer. Now, if you out there are watching this and you're hearing me saying these things, you may be asking yourself, well, how do I do it? How did I do it? Well, my approach was real simple, and I'm just going to give you real quick, right? Number one, I denounced any form of fear, especially when I was diagnosed with the prostate cancer. I denounced fear. I wasn't going to fear it. The other thing that I did was that I would not claim any sickness. I didn't claim it, but I did trust, right? In essence, I did trust the doctor, but I verified, And then the thing is, when you're talking about trusting the doctor, the only way that you can do that really is that you have to have formed a relationship with that doctor, and my doctor is that I was attending to. I had been going to him for almost 20 years, so we had that relationship over time, and he knew what was going on with my body. He knew the changes in my body. He knew when, hey, look, you're pressing, you're approaching pre-diabetes, and you this is what's going on. And I would question him, okay, well, what do I need to do? And he would tell me, and then I would take those things. Now, the thing is, also I want to say this is that I'm going to plug this in, is that the doctor that I had, that he did not he knew that I wasn't really a big medicine freak, and he was that type of doctor as well. He didn't push medication off on you. He would always, I wouldn't call him I can't say that he was a herbalist himself, but he was one that was always strive to want you to try the natural ways of doing those things to cure your body. And I think this was very important. And that was a mindset that I always had. So then again, I trusted him, but then I verified. And then the other thing, last but not least, what I did, I went to the earth. I looked to the earth for a remedy, or a solution to what was going on in my body. And I was fortunate to be very successful, at this far as where I'm at right now in the stage of my life. So if you don't, so let's get into the conversation about cancer. This is really dear to me, very dear to me. But before we talk about that, if you really like and appreciate what we're doing here on this channel, we're going to ask that you would subscribe. We ask that you would like, share, and comment as well. And, hit that notification button, so that when I upload videos, you will be notified of it. So we're going to talk about what causes cancer. But before I get into that, I want to share with you a video. I mentioned this gentleman, this YouTuber on our last broadcast, and Dr. Bobby Price. Now, I'm not going to play the entire video, but I'm just going to play, it's about 2 minute long video, and I want to share this much. And he's going to share some information with you that may help you to scratch your head a little bit. So let's play this video. Go ahead.
Who get a cancer diagnosis, when they are diagnosed with it, the doctor often tells them that, hey, this is the diagnosis. And one of the things that people ask immediately after that, they're trying to figure out what to do. one of the questions that people often ask is, should I eat anything different? Often the answer that they get is that, oh, this has nothing to do with your diet. It's important to know and understand that despite the fact that that's constantly regurgitated, like this has nothing to do with your diet, and they're constantly looking at the genetics to determine, the genetic risk factors for certain, cancers, or to determine your likelihood of getting it. They're always looking at genetics. The idea that this is just genetic, we're going to debunk that today, okay? Now, the first thing I think is really important to know and understand is all cancer is cell division out of control. When cells have an understanding of their purpose and they work in unison. So even though every cell, all 75 trillion cells in the body are literally working in unison, they're literally one. They're one, but doing things differently to be one. When that one cell decides to go rogue and says, whatever y'all doing, I'm not doing. That is essentially what cancer is. Really important to know and understand. For that one cell to become like the tip of a pen, it could take 10 years. Cancer doesn't develop in months. It takes years. And that's really important to understand. The reason why that's so important is because if it's developing over that time, it also means that you have time to make a shift. Okay. It also means that this isn't something that you did in the last few months. This is something that is an accumulative effect. Okay. Because it's really important to understand only about 5% of cancers are actually genetic. 95% are based on either your epigenetics or your lifestyle. And your epigenetics are above your genetics, which is your lifestyle. Hugely important.
So when you hear what he's saying there, lifestyle, your lifestyle is the reason why you can, and he's saying that the number one reason why you can incur cancer in the body. And I thought it was interesting that he said that, cancer doesn't occur overnight, but it's something that can transpire. It would take years. He mentioned 10 years before you really are able to really see or know anything about it or have signs of it. And I see that. I have a comment here. Mr. Jarrett said that that's the right thing to do. Denounce it. He said that he did, and by God's grace, by the grace of God, he was healed. And I'm telling you again, when I talk about denounce fear, yes, when I denounce it, I replace it with faith. I definitely believed in God's word. Even the scripture that I shared is God's desire for us to have good health, to have meaningful health. So I'm just asking you, please, do what is necessary to avoid or to, I said this, I want to make this clear. Again, you got to take initiative. You have to be very gung ho about it. That feel that your body and your health is just as important as it is your home, your car, your children, your wife, or whoever. Brothers, this is so important. And I'm hearing of so many young men, young. I'm saying young in their 20s, 30s, 40s, who have succumbed to cancer at a young age, and that's a sad thing. That's very sad to me. My daughter was sharing with me a young man that she knows, 37 years old. They just had his transition, his homegoing service last week. 37. Reason when? Cancer. So so let's get into this. What causes cancer? So now, while no single food is definitely linked to causing cancer, certain dietary factors have been associated with an increased risk of developing certain cancers. And now, I'm just going to give you a list of what those things are. And these include such as processed and red meat. Processed meat, for example, bacon, hot dogs, and red meats, for example, beef, lamb. They all contain chemicals that are called nitrosamines, which are known carcinogens, right? So that's what we're really dealing with, and that's what we want to avoid. The amount of carcinogens that we introduce to our body. Number two, sugary drinks and refined carbohydrates, high consumption of sugar sweetened beverages and refined carbohydrates. For example, white bread, pasta, can lead to inflammation and obesity, both of which are risk factors of cancer, right? Fried foods. Now, this was something that really struck me. And, Dr. Price, he mentions that, he stays away from fried foods, period. And, after doing my research and I see what um, the information I came across, I'm feeling about the same right now. So when we look at fried foods, don't put that up yet. Okay. Um, it says that foods cooked in high temperatures, such as fried foods, they contain acrylamide, which is a potential carcinogen. So when acrylamide, right? And I was just looking at this, and it refers to, it says that acrylamide is a chemical that can be found in some foods, in industrial products, and in tobacco smoke, right? So when we talk about foods, acrylamide is a chemical that can form in plant-based foods that are high in carbohydrates and low in protein, which they are cooked at high temperatures. This process is called the Maillard reaction, which is the same reaction that causes food to brown and affect its taste. Acrylamide can be found in foods like potato chips, French fries, breads, biscuits, and coffee. Right. So, I just for the sake of time, um, this was what I saw this as acrylamide is a probable human carcinogen. In research studies, high levels of acrylamide cause cancer in laboratory animals, but the levels used in these studies were much greater than those found in human foods. And yeah, you got to stay away from it. And then it said, I think I saw in one of the researchers that uh, it said that McDonald's fries contain acrylamide in it. Like acrylamide, therefore, in essence, acrylamide, it causes cancer. It causes cancer. So you want to stay away from that, right? Okay. The other thing, number four, alcohol. Excessive alcohol consumption is linked to um, an increased risk of several cancers, including liver, breast cancer, colon cancer. Number five, dairy products, right? Excessive dairy products. It states that some studies has suggest that high consumption of dairy products may increase the risk of prostate and ovarian cancer. And then, last but not least, other foods with potential carcinogen effects, such as fruits and vegetables, peanuts, walnuts, broccoli, cauliflower. And I think it's important that these things is about how they are cooked, right? Because understand though they can have carcinogen effect in them, right? So it's important to note though that these are just potential associations. And of course, more research, which they're doing, is needed to fully understand the relationship between diet and cancer risk. So, a balance. So, therefore, it's important to have a balanced diet that includes plenty of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins that generally consider protective against cancer. Uh, it, I can't stress that enough. I really can't. And so, when I talk about this, I said that what I've done is that for me, it's not boasting or bragging, but it's just from a point of encouraging our men. Again, listen, ladies, I want you to encourage the man that is in your life. Hey, if he hasn't been to the doctor, ask him. I tell you what, ask him this question: Has he changed the oil in his car since the last time he been to the doctor to get his body checked, his body checked out? It's important. You have to do that, and it is so important that you be proactive instead of reactive. So I came across this article here, and it was by the University of Texas, um, the MD Anderson Cancer Center, right? And they gave 10 cancer symptoms that men should not ignore. So if you are having these symptoms, it's a possibility. I ain't saying you do now, and I don't want you to think that you do, but it's a possibility that you could be suffering or have cancer, right? How did I find out about cancer? Is that my doctor at the time, I thank God for him. He noticed that my PSA kept going up and up. And it came a time, especially when I became age. I want to say this too. I definitely need to say this, that he had encouraged me that I should go and have my prostate checked, you know. And so I said, oh, hey, anything what's going to benefit me staying in good health. Now, a lot of times that when it comes about having your prostate checked, it can be, it's definitely an invasive procedure. Because I never forget that moment. But yet, of course, I don't want to get into the thing about the procedure, but when it first happened, man, I'm like, whoa, hold on, doc, But then I had to I told myself, no, this is for your health, This is to make sure that your prostate is okay. You're fine, because you don't want cancer. If you can avoid having it, then let's do what is necessary to avoid having it, right? And so, I went through the procedure. So then they went and tested out and come back. And when I went back for the follow up, came that they took I think 9 test lobes or whatever it's called, and 3 of them came back cancerous, right? So I'm like, hey, it is what it is. Okay, so let's deal with it, And I dealt with it. Of course. Let me say this too. I went through 26 weeks of radiation. All right, but I went through it, but I wasn't dependent on, let me say this, I wasn't dependent on the radiation to cure me. It was my faith in God, right? Because I believe it. Because now, again, that's why I say, hey, trust but verify. Okay, and when I say denounce the fear, okay, hey, listen, all right, it is what it is. This is what I'm dealing with. Okay, let me deal with it. But the key was the fact that was this: I caught it early. I caught it early. I was early with it. And because by me being early with it, I was able to get ahead of it. Right. And that's what you want, brothers. And this is why it's important that you do those things that is necessary. Right. So, again, 10 cancer symptoms that we as men, we should not ignore. Okay. Number one, not necessarily number one, but back pain, indigestion, frequent urination. These all can be assumed or associated with having minor health issues. But of course, when you start having these things, it's very important that you get to a doctor. So when we talk about cancer symptoms, also we want you to know that they can't be vague. And Dr. Price has stated to you, you can have it and not know you have it. But that's why you need to go and have the blood exams, have your labs and get it checked periodically. If you're afraid of a needle, bro, then just man up, man, and get that blood test. It's important. Okay. It says that in fact, prostate cancer, it is the most common cancer in men, and has some of the least obvious symptoms. Okay. So again, you can have prostate cancer and not even know that you have it. So therefore, we as men, we should not ignore it. We as men, this is what, and one of the doctors with the Anderson Cancer Prevention Center, Dr. Reese Beaver, she said that men should not ignore their health. We should not. It's important. It is vitally important that we pay attention to changes in our bodies and report unusual symptoms to our doctors right away. Go get checked out. Go get checked out, please. Knowing what symptoms to look for can help your doctor find cancer early when it's most treatable. And that's what I did. So Dr. Viva shares some things that you can look for, such as abnormal lump. So if you've ever recently felt a mass or a lump right below your skin, that may be a sign of cancer. So it says that lumps normally show up in the breast, testicles, lymph nodes, and soft tissues like tendons and ligaments. So when you have report it to your doctor immediately, especially if you just found it. Don't hesitate. While it's at a zero size, before it grows on, hey, deal with it. Deal with it real quick. So again, in other words, she said that changes in your testicles, if you've noticed changes in the size of your testicles, like one or both have gotten bigger, maybe you might find a lump there, or your testicles feel swollen or extra heavy. Again, these are signs that you should go straight to the doctor because there's a such thing as what they call uh, testicles cancer, right? Having cancers in the testicles. And that is also, it's interesting that she said that this is also common in young and middle-aged men, right? So get examined. Go get examined. Pay attention to your body. Your body would give you signs. Just like I said, your car would give you signs. You would know when you need brakes. You would know when tire going low or something just ain't right, especially if you spend time with it, right? You would know that. Another thing that would be a sign that is possible signs of cancer, such as, you have your bathroom habits, you finally suddenly find yourself needing to go to the restroom, all the time, or you would have a pain when you go. You know, uh, this may be a sign of bladder or prostate cancer, and that's an experience. You will experience that, right? Other signs to look for are blood in your stool or in your urine, or changes in your bowel habits, like constipation or diarrhea that won't go away, no matter what you do. This is important. This could be signs. These are signs. We're not necessarily saying that you have it. And I want to stress that. But these are signs that you could possibly have it, right? Um, uh, Changes in your skin, such as if you work for long hours outside, and have a history of blistering sunburn, your skin closely for skin cancer. And the skin cancer symptoms, they include, unusual bleeding, scaling, sores that do not heal, warts, moles, and freckles that change in color, size, and shape. The bottom line is that if you got a strange spot on your skin, go see a dermatologist right away. Right? Okay. Next sign is indigestion or trouble swallowing, a prolonged, painful, burning sensation in your throat or chest should not be ignored, even if you suspect it's from eating spicy foods. Don't assume that regular indigestion or trouble swallowing is a normal part of your aging either. It can be a sign of esophagus or stomach or throat cancer, right? So again, these are just signs. And if you are dealing with these signs, please go get yourself checked out. What about persistent cough or hoarseness, such as if you have a nagging cough that lasts more than 3 weeks? This could be a sign that something is wrong. Check it out, whether you smoke or you don't smoke. Cough that doesn't go away can be a sign of lung cancer. Again, anything that's persistent with hoarseness, wheezing, shortness of breath, or coughing of blood are all signs that it's a time for you to call your doctor right away. Please, please, please do it, right? Changes in your mouth. If you smoke, if you chew, dip, spit, or vape tobacco, you need to pay close attention to the changes inside of your mouth. White patches inside your mouth or white patches on your tongue may be precursors, right? If they are left untreated, these areas can turn into what they call oral cancer, sores, unexplained bleeding, numbness or tenderness in these areas of around your mouth, like your tongue, lips, and cheeks. If you're having these symptoms, or if you're seeing these changes in your mouth, you need to go get yourself checked out, right? Okay, what about unexplained weight loss? If you just find yourself just losing pounds without, you don't exercise that much, right? If you are, call your doctor. I did, because the thing, it wasn't cancer related, but what I found out was that my thyroid was off. I was hypothyroid. It was producing. I ain't gonna get into all the jumble talk about how it is, but it was, in essence, there was an imbalance with my thyroid, and that's what was causing me weight without even trying. So losing 10 pounds or more for no reason can be a sign of pancreatic, stomach, or esophageal or lung cancer. Okay, it's important. This thing is really, 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 really deep, right? What about if you constantly fatigue? If you find yourself that you're tired, too tired to even play with your children or to hang out with your friends after, if you're constantly tired, no matter how much rest you get, don't brush it off. Do not do it. If you find yourself constantly fatigued, and again, these can be a signs of leukemia, right? As well as some colon and stomach cancer, uh, persistent pain, a nagging back pain or a headache that won't go away, abdominal or stomach pains. Your doctor needs to know. You need to tell them, right? If there's a persistent pain, that no matter the location, um, these may be signs that something is wrong. So see your doctor about any pain that lasts for several weeks or longer. It's important you do that. See a doctor if your symptoms persist. Remember, having one or more of these symptoms doesn't mean you have cancer, right? But if you are persistent, go get checked up. It's better to be ahead of the game than behind it, because the sooner you see your doctor, the sooner you can figure out what is causing your symptoms. And if your symptoms are caused by cancer, it is best to find out early when cancer is most treatable. So it is treatable. The bottom line is this, right? Go see your doctor to determine what is causing your symptoms. And you need to do it right away so that you can get on the road to recovery. Again, I want to emphasize on Dr. Price, right? We did put his link in the description, and you need to listen to it. He has this video that's titled "10 Cancer Feeding Foods You Should Never Eat," and he really breaks it down on what we eat. We eat a lot of stuff that we should not be eating. And I would encourage you to go back and listen to our last broadcast about health and a healthy heart. We can't do it. We should not do it. And I think that personally, a lot of food that we're eating and consuming right now is what's really causing a lot of cancer. There's no question about it. And we need to, the food that we eat today, the cattle, the meat, the beef, whatever, steaks, it's not the same as it was when my grandparents were growing up, because a lot of things are being done to this food, especially with a lot of GMO foods. It's no good. You know, um, I know. Listen, I might not be all hyped up about this, but I'm very reserved, and I'm so serious about this. You got to take care of ourselves. So, if you are dealing with cancer, and this is the thing that this is my own personal opinion, and I'm gonna say this, then we're gonna get out of here. That I think fear is the number one source that cancer thrives off of. Because when you hear or you're diagnosed with cancer, you automatically think, because your life is over with, and it's not so. It's not true. If you are diligent about your health, you can do what is necessary in order to overcome it. You can. I'm a living witness. I am a living witness. So listen, if you do, denounce that fear. Do not be afraid, right? And if and once you denounce the fear, I'm going to encourage you to replace it with faith. Believe in God. This is in the Word. Go to the Word. It will show you there, and then don't claim it. Don't claim it. If anything, I phrase it this way: well, they say I have cancer, but I'm not claiming cancer. I'm not going to release that upon myself. There's a scripture, Proverbs 18:21 says that death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. So no, I'm not proclaiming that. That I would not speak that over my life. I will not speak that. No. Has it came upon my life? Yes. But I have power, I have victory over it. That's just my mindset. Now I don't know how you will want to deal with it, but that's how I chose to deal with it. And I overcame it. And I'm grateful to God for his word. I'm grateful to God for the power of prayer. And the thing, let me say another thing too. Don't if you find yourself dealing with these sicknesses, because this is what I did when I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. I did not tell the world. You know, the only people in my family that knew, my children did not even know that I was passing through that. I think two of the older ones, they eventually began to put two and two together. But the only two people in my family that knew was my mother and my wife. That was it. And none of my children knew. I didn't share it with them. And I went about my life just like everything, which is absolutely perfect. And then, of course, at my church, that I fellowship, my two of my leaders, that was it. I didn't share it with anybody. I didn't go around, I'm dealing with cancer. I didn't do that. Nope. I was not going to speak that over myself. No, I claim it. No, I would give authority to that sickness over my life, over my body. No, right out the gate, it was defeated. And I knew that. And that's what I stood on. So no, I don't claim it. Do not claim it. Do not say I have. Do not say I am this. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't use that vocabulary at all. Please don't. Then again, look, if you're not sure with one doctor, go to another. Especially if it's a doctor you don't have a relationship with. I had a relationship with my doctor, so I knew if he died, he's always been taking very good care of me. And so if he's always been on point with what I've been going through, I had no reason not to believe him. But if you're with the one doctor that you're not sure of, he's talking kind of crazy or talking against your faith or whatever, and he just want to pump you with pills, go find another doctor. Get a second opinion, third opinion if you need to. It's important, right? Okay, and then another thing, last but not least, hey, again, go to the earth. I want to put this flyer up, and I want y'all to look at this what this flyer here says, because a doctor that we know, he's a herbalist, and this is what he shared this. Uh, yes, go ahead. Plants are not alternative medicine. They are the original medicine. Plants are not alternative medicine. They are the original medicine. Let that sink in. A lot of this manufactured, um, produced medication. Can I tell you, I did not take any medication during my time with prostate cancer. Not a bit, not one tablet, not one pill. But what I took a lot of plant supplements, key plant supplements. I made teas with them, or some of them I just took by mouth, in capsules. Um, and then how you eat, I changed my eating habit. I'm telling you, go listen to Dr. Price. Change your eating habits. There are certain foods I don't eat at all. I took completely out of my um out of my menu. I don't eat. I don't eat. And I was a meat connoisseur. I love meat now. I love meat. But I don't eat meat now. The only thing I eat right now is fish, and then certain fish, and then also organic chicken, right? So you want to know where it comes from. But that's all we have to say. So say no. That's all we have for you. So to say no to cancer, right? A lot of foods, please, please, please. I cannot encourage you enough, man. You can go ahead and let them play. Can I encourage you enough, man? Look at what you eat. Check your diet, please. please, potato chips, all this fast food stuff, it is not good for you. Us, it's destroying our body. It is. Let's change that. All right. Okay. So that's all we got. And we will see you next week. All right. Peace out. God bless. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and like and share. All right. Share this with somebody you love. Can you do that for us? All right. See you next week.